going to join us around 6:30. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan Comrex hotline. Check with our guy. He is Bobby Carpenter. Carp, what's happening? How's everything going in the Buckeye world right now? Austin, I'm trying to talk him off a ledge.
Talk him off a ledge about what?
I'm stressed out, Bob.
About what?
Life gets in the way.
Well, life happens. That's real. But are you stressed out about the Buckeyes?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I feel good about that, Bob. I mean, it's not ideal timing, but this is. You can weigh in on this. Segment's not about me. It's about you. This is going to continue to happen as Ohio State wins. They're going to lose coaches. That's part of life here.
Oregon's losing both coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that they're having to deal with and work through, and that's going to be part of it. And I know part of it is Brian Hartline's recruiting prowess at the wide receiver position. There isn't anything. I've been doing radio. I've been trying to check. There isn't anything final on the Chris Henry front. Is there yet?
There is not. Jeremy Birmingham is reporting, a.k.a. the Berm.
Negative Berm.
He believes, after talking with some people at Ohio State today, that Chris Henry Jr. is likely to sign with Oregon. But the paperwork is not official.
They just lost both their coordinators.
Well, maybe there's something else at play there.
Yeah, but they didn't lose Uncle Phil. So
yeah, that's true. Facts.
He's still alive, and I've heard that he wants, from people that I know that were involved, that know the representation and everything going on, that I think with Hartline, the one thing you could always get, Austin, is you maybe get a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
And there was that comfortability and security that you could get, and if not, then it's a highest bidder situation. And while Ohio State does well, it's not maybe quite as deep as Oregon. And what's interesting about that is the question becomes, Ohio State is probably the most valuable asset that Nike possesses, like entity-wise. And I'm curious, because you're kind of battling against your own guys over there with this. And, that's something that I wonder if there's conversations that will be had regarding that, because I love the fact that Ohio State's a Nike school, but, if that's what you're dealing with and that's what they're doing, you could probably barter a better deal somewhere else, and you wouldn't have to deal, with people that, you're directly competing with.
What do you think that would look like, Bob, on the open market? I forget exactly what the Penn State Adidas deal was, right? Like, they just signed one. I know that Tennessee's moving to Adidas here in a couple of years, but I would have to think that it would be the largest brand deal in college football history if they were to move at some point.
Oh, yeah. Ohio State and Notre Dame would probably be the two. Just the amount of apparel that you're going to sell, and all the branding that's going to go, and then the visibility that comes with it when you see the Ohio State's number one team in the country, and they're all over national television all the time. And while, Fox and the Big Ten agreement might not be doing them any favors this year of putting them in the most advantageous times, and maybe the schedule is as well with the bottom end of the Big Ten.
Right.
They're still one of the most visible and probably the most recognizable brand in the country. So yeah, that would be massive.
Bob, when you look at this, and we have touched on this obviously with Brian Hartline and the recruiting impact, and I was told yesterday there's not going to be any rush for Ryan Day for Ohio State to make this hire to replace him. It feels to me, I wonder what you're thinking, that Keenan Bailey would be the obvious and maybe easy choice to slide over to wide receiver, and then that allows you to make another outside big-time hire as an offensive coordinator. Is there somebody – there's actually multiple somebodies I think that are available with NFL experience right now that could be really good fits and attractive for Ohio State. If you could pick one right now, which direction would you go?
That's interesting. Do you go outside and get, the big-time wide receivers coach? And part of it is, too, Tyler Bowen has called plays as well.
Yeah.
So you could figure out how to kind of work that internally, I think, is going to be really interesting. I think, Ryan Day always talks about, being a subject matter expert, being the best at your position in the country. And is it easier to maybe find that wide receivers coach that can recruit and develop at a high level like Hartline, or is it easier to slide Keenan Bailey, who was his right-hand man for all those years? And the other thing is, Keenan Bailey's done a really good job with the tight ends.
Yeah,
so
good job.
Do you want to try to throw a wrench ultimately into that. And I know you're talking about, Chip Kelly potentially being available. Who else would you be alluding to, Austin, that could be out there?
I think that there is a possibility of interest for Brian Daboll.
Ooh.
I don't know how reciprocal that would be, but I think that there could be communication between, him and Matt Patricia, that you could talk about, their time together, what it's like working at Ohio State. And I think what's interesting about him, and I'm not suggesting this as like a prediction. I'm just talking about reasonable candidates. He's also got some time there. He spent 1 year at Alabama, won a national championship with Nick Saban. There's also the Saban level influence, I think, that's working for Ryan Day right now. And
the Ryan Day School of Rehabilitation now?
I think that if the mid-2010s belong to the Nick Saban School for misguided coaches, then Ryan Day can open that for the mid-2020s. I think that that's a very real possibility. So I think it's
Daboll is telling Ryan, I want to be your Lane Kiffin. Is that what it is?
I hope he doesn't say that because Lane Kiffin actually had to be replaced by Nick Saban in the build-up to a national championship game. But I think the other part that is intriguing to me about
by another guy who was on the replacement program with Sark. It's pretty remarkable.
There was quite a train of coaches pulling into that. That was like platform 9 3/4 heading in there for Nick Saban there. But Brian Daboll has also had some pretty good success with tight ends. So I felt like, again, I'm just piecing the puzzle together, and it's I don't expect any hire to be made imminently. But if I'm talking about like ideal candidate for Ohio State and what they're building here and how that would fit together in that room, I'd put him near the top of that list.
Yeah, and the NFL experience is always nice now you're selling guys on the package of getting to the NFL, getting guys to the NFL, developing them there, getting the exposure, the experience, and then obviously there's the compensation piece that comes while you're at Ohio State too. So there's a multitude of factors that obviously are going to be into play. I don't think either one of those would be, bad. I know, we looked at Chip before because there was the trust factor and how well him and Ryan, knew each other and just their relationship. But before that, he had brought in Bill O'Brien, who I don't think he knew a ton of before. A guy who was also
he only needed 1 week in school. Yes,
and he was a quick study, but he was also at the Nick Saban school as well. So
he enrolled with both Nick Saban and Ryan Day.
Yes, so you could Daboll. He could be going there. Back to the Masters program and see how that works, or maybe the advanced rope course.
Yep.
As you try to figure this all out. But yeah, I think that's something that they're going to figure out. But like you said, it's not imminent. And I know that everybody. It's amazing that like the focus has been the receivers, this and that, and everything, and Hartline leaving, and the world is imploding. I'm like, you're playing for a chance to have the number 1 overall seed.
Yep.
And the number 1 overall seed does matter. And Ryan addressed this because, obviously with the seeding of who you're playing, but also should you win your first round game, then you get to select the location, whether it be in Atlanta or in
Phoenix.
And if you're going to potentially play an SEC team, it would be much more advantageous to play them in Phoenix. If you have to play Texas Tech, then you could choose to potentially play them, obviously, in the East, in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, which would be closer proximity-wise here. And so that, just having that home field advantage, I think, does matter significantly. So this game on Saturday does matter, and Ohio State still has all of the players. Everybody is healthy. Everybody's good to go. And instead of worrying about championships 3, 4, and 5, let's try to secure number 2 first.
Yeah, I think it's so funny, Bob, and I'm with you that the world stopped spinning, and all we've been talking about here in Columbus for the last 5 years is how Ohio State couldn't beat Michigan. They did that, and then we jumped to something else entirely, 2 days removed after it happened. Before we get you out of here, what are you most looking forward to Saturday evening in Indianapolis as Ohio State takes on number 2 Indiana, which is only the 3rd time in Big Ten history where you have number 1 versus number 2?
I want to go to that alley of the shanking and really try to walk it and get a picture and try to really
are you like the Mentalist?
Scene. The Mentalist, and walk through it and imagine how it all went down, and where Mark Sanchez got stabbed, and then maybe I don't know what, Austin, you're doing Burma up to. Maybe we could try to recreate it, see the weights, we get the lasers and see where the.
Well, you've been trying to get my shankability level up for years.
Who are you, Rust Cole?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to be like? We can draw straws. Who's going to be the old surly oil truck driver?
That's Berm.
You know, who gets to be crazy drunk Mark Sanchez?
That's me.
That rips the shank from, but not before taking a couple blows. Which, to my knowledge, those, I guess, from people maybe that have seen it. Those blows were from while the truck driver was on the ground, and since it was his own weight that was kind of forcing, because I don't think it was a very sharp shiv, if you will, to be able to get that done, and the guy wasn't all that strong. So he kind of used his own body weight it impaled him. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. But really, as long as you've got 4-17 out there, the world's your oyster on offense, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball against Indiana. And I'm curious, and I believe that this defense will be able to stop Indiana's run game. And if you can stop their run game, I think that changes the math dramatically on how good Fernando Mendoza is and how good Cooper and Serrato are. They're very talented. I think they got the second most talented group of wideouts in college in the Big Ten. But if you can take away that run game, Mendoza isn't near as good. You go watch him against Old Dominion and even some against Purdue, and they were able to get it going. But like there's still some flies in the ointment.
Those first 5 throws that he attempted against Purdue were dicey.
Yeah.
Hey, have fun role playing on Saturday. All right, let me know how that goes for you in the alley. All right.
It should be good. I mean, hey, our boy Breer's going to be out there, and he's got a bunch of his college buddies. So there might be. No. It might not be role playing. It might be a live action. You know.
Have a sig for me with him, will you?
Oh, we'll have one, and then we'll have one for Signetti as well. Will Howard's coming. He's going to stomp it out for us.
Carp, always appreciate the time. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy Indy, and we'll check in again maybe next week, all right?
My pleasure. You guys have a good one.
There he goes. Bobby Carpenter with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We got a lot happening in the Buckeye world of recruiting. Role player Jeremy Birmingham, who I'm still unsure of who he is in Bob's situation, he's going to join us. We'll talk to him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.